Hello, this is Miho from Canada. How are you guys doing? I hope your mental and physical health are good and fit. So today, this is the topic that I really feel for it because I've been through it. So, no more suffering. No one wants to suffer, right? But if you believe or think that you were born under a wrong star or in a disaster family or very strict, pressured family, you feel like you're destined to be, into the disaster or no bright future. It's just frustrations and full of anxieties and worries. And it just overall it's not good. But there are places where you feel so good and happy and joy and peace and harmonized instead of suffering. Suffering is something that no one wants to do. But because when you're born into the certain, say, family, maybe you had to go through the certain sufferings because of the situation or conditions that you were born with. Then you become an adult, and by then you're being already taught or fed so many information about the life from the perspective of life from your parents or family that this is it. You cannot really exceed because you have nothing compared to, say, the others who have been succeeding. And you just totally bought into it because that's the only thing you saw so far. But when you reach the adult, you have the choice. You literally have the freedom to choose what you want to do, what you want to think. And this is the turning point for me that I used to think everything is because outside force. Everything is not going well because of parents, because of this environment, because of the lack of money. I was blaming everything outside. So when you realize that you are in a victim mode, that means you're putting yourself up there somewhere safe, and whatever not going well with you are all outside of fault. The fault of outside, people, environment, or job. And that is the key to turn around and say, get out of that victim mode. No matter what the circumstances is, you have the free will, meaning that you have the choice to choose what you want to think, what you want to lead your life, and what you want to feel. And whatever the outside, you don't need to be there. Meaning that you can choose to get out of there if it's so much painful to stay. And there are so many other places that you can go to and get experience of and learn from. And so you need to really expand your vision, expand your mind to accept what's there other than what you know, which is very small area from growing up time. And when you see very difficult times in your childhood, you are such a strong soul. I will tell you this because otherwise you wouldn't be here now. Because you had so much pain, so much suffering, so much pressure. You had to deal with it somehow with your mind, with your body, and you managed to get through it. But now it's time for you to move on with your life, to discover who you really are, what you really wanted to do. And that will get you out from the suffering circle and to see the light, the joy, happiness, peace, and harmony, those really comfortable places in yourself. And when you live that, you start to see the world differently. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you've been through it. Sure, you have those wounds and trauma and pain, but you don't need to hold on to it forever. And the past thing is past. That's another thing that you need to learn. You don't need to hold on to your past. Past doesn't describe you now. It's part of you, but you rewrite your story from now on. You don't need to dwell on what happened in the past. What happened in the past is something that you've been through. Probably you gain so much strength because especially when you had a tough time and you had somehow, had the tools to suffer through it. Probably you have bad memories and trauma and painful experience, but you turn them around to inspire you to go forward, and you push yourself in a direction that you like to go to, not being pulled back. So that get out of this victim mode is the number key one. You're the responsible of whatever that happens now on, good and bad. Accept that, the whole responsibilities. Whatever it happens, it's yours, no one else's fault. And because you've been suffering, for instance, you have such a strength to go through that. So when you put that energy and shift it towards what you really wanted to do, it gives you so much power to go a positive way. It's energy-wise negative or positive, it's the same thing. It's just depending on which way you're looking at. So the energy-wise, you spend so much energy to be negative as well. Also the same way on a positive. So it becomes your free will which way you want to spend your energy on. And when you become an adult, you could really see bigger picture. You have the smarts to expand your vision to much bigger space. So that it's not just when you're growing up that you had no choice because you had to survive, but you take that experience. It's a gift. When I heard this the beginning, I didn't quite get it. I go, what do you mean it's a gift? It was a suffering, but it does. Meaning that you have so much strength to go through that, and you gain so much experience through that, and you're the only one who knew what you felt like because you've been through it. So it's a special gift that you have. So be yourself. Now it's time to live your life the way you think it's comfortable, the way you think it's you. All the other factors are there, but it's important is what's inside of you. So no more suffering. You can turn yourself around to live yourself, live your own life. And that could be difficult or could be very scary. For me, it took me so long because those days I knew I didn't like where I was at, but I didn't know how to get out of there. And meanwhile, I had a lot of pressure. And also I have this habit of thinking the negative ways and also putting myself down. Those habits were so hard to break at a time. And I had so many books to read, and there were no YouTube from those days. But now the world is getting so globalized. You get so much information. There's so many other people who go through the similar experiences, or you get information and advice from people who coach, mentor, and just you get a really hands-on, useful information. So that reach out and listen to them and model, the ones that you admire, inspire, because a lot of people are self-made happy people. It's not always happy. right? So that you can learn that from people. And it's much easier now because all the tools and IT stuff going around. So use that and then get so much inspiration or courage from others and push you to the right direction, not pulling you back to where you were before. So no more suffering, and you see the light and you see yourself sparkling. Okay, so see you soon. Bye.